under modules, and then Desmos amplified character of quadratics. The first slide just asks you about your break or your weekend. The second slide has this review of vocabulary. We need to write this down on paper. So I want to make sure we know the parts of the parabola. So I'm going to put character of quadratics here. And note, there was a quadratic, that was a parabola drawn where it crosses, where it crosses the x-intercept. These x-intercepts are the solutions to the graph. This is another x-intercept. It is a solution to the graph. These solutions are called the zeros. And if you take the opposite of the zeros, you'll have the factors. For the quadratic. So if this is a parabola and the x-intercept is, let's say, at 2 and 6, if this point is 2, 0, and if this point is 6, 0, then we have enough information to write our factors. You may want to be writing this down. Good note taking, study skills, healthy habits. Alright, if these are the zeros, then the factors are going to be x minus 2 times x minus 6. And that is the factored form of the quadratic. That is from last week. These are the x-intercepts, which are the solutions, which are the zeros. X-intercepts, which are the solutions, which are the zeros. The zeros, opposite of the zeros, you'll find the factors for the quadratic. So if your 0 is at 2, your factor is minus 2. If your 0 is at 6, your factor is minus 6, x minus 6. These create the factors for the quadratic. When you write them in the parentheses, you have the factored form for the quadratic function that is represented. Now, if we go back to that slide that's on Desmos, we'll see that there's an axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is where the graph is divided evenly. And if I'm at 2, in between 2 and 6 is 4. So this creates my axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry is written because it's crossing the x-axis at 4. The equation for that axis of symmetry is x equals 4. And that's because it's crossing the x-axis at 4, 0. So that's the axis of symmetry. Now, that axis of symmetry is also where you find your highest or your lowest point, called the minimum or the maximum, also called the vertex. We talked about that last week. The vertex should be somewhere in here. And I know that that point is the vertex, and I think that it is at 4, something, but I don't know what that something is just yet.
What is at the bottom?
Right here? This right here?
No. That's both of the ones at
Oh, right here.
the... No, at the bottom.
Bottom.
Yes.
Parentheses, x minus
Oh, above it.
factors.
No, not right. The whole sentence.
Opposite of the zeros, you'll have the factors for the quadratics. So the factored form is the opposite of the zeros. Opposite of the zeros, you'll have the factors for the quadratic. Now, let's say that this vertex is at 4, -4. Put this vertex at 4, -4. The purpose of today's lesson is to be able to write the equation for the quadratic in vertex form. Let me see if I can teach you it real quick. The vertex form for a quadratic is on our formula sheet. And it is written as y equals parentheses. Don't have me start guessing. Let me get the formula sheet and see what this thing says. Y equals, our A is going to be 1. Take a look at this real quick. Here's the formula sheet. Standard form for a quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c. Vertex form is where we are right now. And then this is the factored form, x minus r times x minus s with an a in the front. Our coefficient is 1. As we go on, the coefficient will change, but we'll talk about that later. So here's where we are right now. We're looking at the vertex form. Y equals x minus h squared plus k. And I'll show you where h and k are. Alright, so vertex form is y equals x minus h squared plus k. Write that down. Y equals x minus h parentheses squared plus k. Now, where the vertex is h comma k. The vertex is h comma k. Now notice that this h is positive and that's a minus sign. This h is positive, that's a minus sign. That minus sign stays in the equation. So if our vertex is at 4, -4, if that's our vertex, then this is h and this is k. So the equation in vertex form for this quadratic is going to be y equals parentheses, the x stays the same, the minus is in the formula. H is 4, close the parentheses, squared, plus k. Our k is minus 4. So I'm going to put minus 4. If you go into Desmos and you type this in, it should look like the graph that we have at the top of our paper. Give it a try. Go to Desmos. Type in the equation. And voila. Here it is. My vertex should be at 4, -4. 4, -4. Then if you look at the graph, you'll see my vertex is here at 4, -4. My zeros, 2, 0, 6, 0. My graph up here at the top, 2, 0, 6, 0. Using those zeros, I should be able to also write this in factored form. So I can check the factored form of this by coming under it and typing y equals, parentheses, x minus 2, parentheses, x minus 6. I know it's right because it's the same line that's graphed. The second one is the factored form. The first one is the vertex form. I wonder if we can write the standard form for the quadratic. I don't even want to talk about that right now because that's not a part of this lesson. Are there any questions on just this information right here? You all should know where the axis of symmetry is, and you should know where to find the vertex. The axis of symmetry has an equation that says x equals that number where it crosses and forms equal sides of the parabola. We talked about the vertex form of a quadratic being y equals, parentheses, x minus h squared plus k, where the vertex is h and k. If h is positive, make that a minus. If this is a positive, it's going to be a positive. If it's a minus, it's going to be a minus. Don't get the signs confused. But if you get the signs confused, you always have Desmos to go back to and double check your work. All right, let's go over here to the quadratics practice on Desmos Amplify. Yes. Baby, I don't know. We're not doing this every day or every week. So it's probably going to be a no. Alright, back to this assignment right here. So this one is a review of the vocabulary. We found the vertex and they're going to ask us about the axis of symmetry. Yep, I get it too. Let's go on to number 4. Question number 1. From the options below, select the equation that is a quadratic. Question number 2. Select the graph that shows a quadratic function. Alright, next we're going to sort the graphs into 2 groups. I'm on 6. You mean, what did it say or what was the answer? Oh, I'm not giving answers. Alright, so now I'm just going to go through and finish up my assignment. Remember, the axis of symmetry is an equation that says x equals, and the x is equal to wherever it crosses the x-axis. Alright, I'm going to stop this video because I think I've given you enough information to get to work.